Hey, what is going on, guys? This is SMEV Reviews, and it's time for Year in List. Today, it is the worst songs from 2018. Rules are very simple. It had to come out in 2018, so if it was a single released in 2017, then it does not count for this list, even if it was released on a 2018 album. Besides that, one song per artist, just because if there was a truly bad album, then it could take up the whole list, so one track per artist. Besides that, let's get to the list. Number 10 is Missin' Yo Kissin' from Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. Now, I actually got a lot of pushback from my review of the newest album from Billy Gibbons, Big Bad Blues. While I lightened up on it a little bit, I still just do not see the appeal that a lot of people seem to have with this album. Regardless, this track really does epitomize most of the problems. Most of the other tracks, upon further listening, I softened up, like I said, and I feel like most of those tracks were more tolerable. But this track really just is so incredibly grating. It has incredibly awful auto-tune used on Billy Gibbons' voice. Plus, it's just fairly boring. It's a fairly standard blues rock track, but it doesn't sound like anything interesting, and that auto-tune just really kills it. Plus, Billy Gibbons, unfortunately, just really does not have the voice. Not that he was ever just this insane vocalist beforehand, but now his voice is just so worn out and tired, and this track just further exemplifies that problem. It really does bother me trying to get through this track even once, just because it is so awful vocally. This is not a track where the production or instrumentation or lyrics are a huge problem. It truly comes down to that auto-tune with Billy Gibbons' voice. It's so incredibly awful and absolutely deserving of this list. Alright, I'm truly not trying to put a lot of trap onto this list. Trap has definitely overflowed mainstream music, more so in 2017 than this year, but it still is omnipresent, and it really is a stale and uninteresting genre, though there are some good songs in that field, but this song is just truly awful. Make a kick rock, it's a big clap. Check the wrist watch. Number 9 is Gucci Flip Flops by Bad Baby featuring Lil Yachty. And this track, I really truly hated everything about 15, which was the debut album from Bad Baby. I think that she has become famous off of a terrible reason, and regardless, I have to separate the art from the artist to an extent. As I've said before, you definitely have to keep in mind the cultural impact and who they are as a person, because if you don't, it truly just isn't fair. It'd be like looking at an album that's talking about a divorce and not looking at the divorce. Obviously, that plays an impact on the music. So it is something to keep in mind, but I can't say that this song sucks just because I don't like Danielle Bregoli, who is Bad Baby. I just truly do not like this song. It's so uninteresting and so incredibly obnoxious. She really doesn't have a very good flow behind the mic, and this song is just the most obnoxious of all of them. From the moment I heard it, I knew that this was somehow going to be on this list, because it's just truly annoying. Lil Yachty isn't the worst part of this song, I will say. It truly is Bad Baby, but it truly is so uninteresting and so incredibly offensive of how much of a cash grab this was. It truly is a bad song. It's going to be on a ton of people's lists, so I'm not going to spend any more time on it because it really doesn't deserve it. This year we had a lot of rock bands that were taking a lot of electronic turns, as well as a lot of trap-inspired sounds. We had a lot of bands doing that, and it was really unfortunate. Now, not that the 2000s mainstream rock scene was always so engaging, but it's a lot of those bands that are trying to evolve with the times and just truly falling on their face. Just like this band. I have a wrong time. I have a wrong time. Man, we all knew that this album was going to be bad, but this song is the absolute summit of every problem on 30 Seconds to Mars' new album. It's truly incredibly boring, and that's being nice. It is so monotone, and then we have that wonderful feature from A$AP Rocky, which I don't necessarily have a problem with him individually, but rock and trap aren't really elements that mesh well, so we don't expect those to work out. And yet, here we are with this song, which it's even hard to call this song a rock song at all. It's layered in extremely overdubbed vocals, as well as a ton of synthesizers that just really do not complement the song at all. And then we get that chorus where there's hardly any enunciation at all on One Track Mind, that lyric. It's just said in such a deadpan and oh so lazy way of delivery. It really doesn't work at all, and it just shows why the trap and rock artists just cannot get together. It just does not work out, and this song absolutely highlights that. What happened? What happened to Ariana Grande? All of Sweetener was truly terrible, and I really did not like it. But this song, I've seen some people try to justify this as satire on the trap genre, but it does not come across like that at all, and I don't think that Ariana Grande was trying to go for that. We get a feature from Nicki Minaj, which ironically, as in most of the songs I mentioned, the feature is not the problem. I can handle Nicki Minaj's part much more than I can handle Ariana Grande's. And that's not even to mention the incredibly obnoxious, "You wouldn't let anybody speak instead." That is the most annoying thing in that song. And it goes throughout the whole track. Then we get incredibly obnoxious synthesizers that really do sum up that stereotype of the beep boop sound, because it really just sounds like someone pushing a bunch of buttons. And then Ariana Grande in the chorus just absolutely is so incredibly obnoxious there too, because this song is so incredibly repetitive. I really didn't like Sweetener, but this song really, it's truly awful. I do not like it at all. I cannot find one forgiving thing to say about it, at least to Ariana Grande's portion. I wanted to like this song because Ariana Grande is one of those artists that had such potential. She had so many great tracks that really did show she knew how to write pop music. But then we get Sweetener and, like I said, this song. And it just seems to all disappear, and I can't find much really to praise about this song at all. Cheesy and dorky songs are something that I'm very used to. I'm actually a very big Weezer fan, and while Weezer has very many missteps, I still do like Weezer. So you'd think that songs that kind of fit into that dorky sort of sound I'd really appreciate. But not this song. Not this.
Worst critics are sitting up front, and they're giving you two thumbs way up. You'll be in a league of your own. You'll be stealing their...
Cinematic by Owl City is far past cheesy or dorky. It's just so incredibly played out, and it's that self-motivating type of song about you are great and you can do anything. And while those songs have a place, yes, they're cheesy and dorky and not usually a critical darling, some people do really like that type of music, and I can't really knock it. I totally get that self-motivating type of song that you just want to feel good while listening to. So I get it. But this song has every single cheesy lyric you can think of. If I asked you to think of one motivational line from a poster you've seen in a school classroom, or some dorky saying that people say so frequently, that line is in this song. It truly is so incredibly eye-rolling just to listen to it. We get so terrible lines about how you are playing the lead role in a movie and all your biggest critics are sitting there in the audience giving you two thumbs up. And it while I don't usually get too affected by these super cheesy, eye-roll inducing songs, this song is far too cheesy for me to get past. It's obnoxious and terrible, and I really hate this song. And that's not to mention the incredibly cheesy instrumentation. This song is synthesized to the max. We have really, really cheesy string sections, and just that chorus where it explodes is so uneventful and just so incredibly cheesy. This song is incredibly cheesy. And while this was a year where we had so many artists doing terrible things in their personal life and often singing about it, this song still makes a list for how incredibly cheesy it is. Again, Kodak Black is not on this list because he is a terrible person. That's just not the case at all. It's because he just doesn't have any talent behind a mic. He really doesn't know how to sing, and this song is him completely singing. Plus, we get really, really terrible lines about a lady placing a bean in an inappropriate location. And oh, good night. This song, it's unbelievable how this got past any record executives, because Kodak Black cannot sing. And while he can't rap very well, it's better than his singing voice, because this, when people say mumble rap, this is definitely mumble rap, because he's trying to rap and sing at the same time, and it does come across as a mumble, and my goodness, he just cannot do it. And I always have this weird situation with people that just can't sing on putting them on my list, because like I'm sure I could find some very obscure artist who's just can't sing at all and just was putting out a song for, hey, let's do this for fun. But this is a mainstream artist that people frequently listen to, and he gets frequent hits. There are hits on the radio right now of Kodak Black's. So how is this song one that made it past record executives? And how is he an artist that we are praising? Because he just is truly bad. And I'm not even talking about anything in his past, because it doesn't really affect this song. This song's just really, truly awful. How could this vocal style be approved? It just does not make sense. There is nothing more to say about this song. It's just bad. As you can see, this list, I'm just getting more and more frustrated. So let's take an easy shot, one that just about everyone's going to agree with me on. Five Finger Death Punch, if they are releasing new music, it's pretty guaranteed it's going to make some worst list. It's going to make a lot of other critics' worst lists, and obviously it's here on mine. And I would be okay with Five Finger Death Punch. I don't mind that. Like, they have some decent instrumentalists. They're not amazing, but they're fine. But the front man, Ivan Moody, oh my! Why do we have tracks like this where the chorus itself is just so... This is more cheesy than Cinematic by Owl City, because it just sounds like a child saying, I'm right, no, I'm right. It's just the complete, like, child argument. He's singing about how you are fake, and he is amazing. And good night. It's just so incredibly childish. And that's the ultimate thing to say with this song. Plus, honestly, Ivan Moody's just not intimidating, and his vocal style is... He tries to be intimidating, but his lyrics don't help, and really just he's not. Everything he says, the way he delivers it, does not sound intimidating, despite his desire to be so. It just doesn't do anything. Like, this is him trying to get the last word, and it just makes him look like a fool. It's that person that yells the stupidest one-liner as a comeback as someone's walking away because they've won the fight. It really does not work, and this was an easy target because everyone knew that this song was going to be terrible, and the album, and I will spoil it right now. Yes, Five Finger Death Punch made my worst albums. Spoiled it right now for you guys, because it was just so bad, and this song was definitely the worst. comedy is extremely subjective, and I don't really feel bands that do rely more on comedy, they're harder to review. I stay away from bands like Tenacious D or Ninja Sex Party because both of those bands really, the comedy is subjective, and while music's also subjective, there are some more obvious things you can say that are clearly wrong. Obviously, some of these songs on this list even, you can point at and say, obviously, this is just not a good song for very objective reasons. And that's not to say I'm always right, but it can be based a little more in reality. So I don't typically want to layer two layers of subjectiveness together. It adds way too much ambiguity into my lists and into my thoughts, so I don't typically talk about comedy. But this song definitely deserves to be on this list.
I woke up Chris Breezy. Oh my God, I'm the man. I'm so fly and I can dance.
This is a song where context absolutely matters. Remember, Chris Brown is a known domestic abuser. We'll get back to that. So this is a song based on Freaky Friday, the movie, where two people switch bodies. So Lil Dicky is in Chris Brown's body, and Chris Brown is in Lil Dicky's. So, moving on from that. Remember, Chris Brown is a known domestic abuser, and this song is saying how great it would be to be him and how great Chris Brown's life is. That is beyond frustrating to me, because it doesn't show Chris Brown having any sort of remorse, and then, like I said, we're just simply praising how good it would be to be Chris Brown, and that just should not be the case. We do get a wonderful line where Lil Dicky is Chris Brown still, and Chris Brown will sing that there's no one judging him for his controversial past because he's in Lil Dicky's body. Controversial means that there are two sides to the argument, where it's very divisive and some people will agree and some won't. No, almost everyone in the world will agree that domestic abuse is terrible and should never be tolerated. It's not controversial, and that line alone just makes it deserve this place. But then we get us talking about how Lil Dicky, in Chris Brown's body, is excited because now that he's black, guess what he can say? The N-word. And that is just another point of just really not understanding the cultural phenomenon, because I have never had a desire to say that word, and so do many people. And it's not something that I wish I could say, and it just shows a really lack of real tolerance for why that word is bad. Again, just another reason that this song deserves to be on the list. Then we get that terrible switch with Kendall Jenner, and good night. She can't sing at all. Why did we even throw that in? And how did we get Ed Sheeran in this song? Though I will admit that the self-deprecating, not being cool to be Ed Sheeran is slightly funny. That's the only thing I'll give this song. But yeah, good night. This song, it's truly disgusting. And we're praising a known domestic abuser. I cannot get that into your head enough because this song is just terrible. And yet it became a hit. Now, this song, I definitely wanted to switch it with our third place pick, Freaky Friday, multiple times, because obviously there's a true, real reason why that song is awful. But this song is just bad because it's a bad song, not because it's glorifying domestic abuse or for any other reason. It's just so incredibly bad, and it deserves this second place spot.
Haters gon' say it's fake. Something real.
Filthy by Justin Timberlake. This song is just so incredibly insulting, because we get such a wonderful intro. I really actually do like that stadium rock sound where he starts the song. It's really catchy, really fun, and it's actually something that I catch myself singing a lot. It's something that I really wish this song was. We get such an interesting opener, and then it just diverges into this incredibly, incredibly obnoxious synth tone, where absolutely nothing happens. It repeats for far too long, and really that's it. We get teased again about halfway through the song with that awesome intro, And we go straight back to the incredibly boring part that just repeats and repeats, and there's nothing new in it. He doesn't add anything new, hardly any new lyrics. It's mainly just the same lines over and over and over. And even the single cover, where it says this song is meant to be played incredibly loud. Why? Why would I ever do that? It doesn't work. It just further shows the problems with this song because it's so much of a letdown. And like I said, it's insulting. It's insulting because he gave a taste of what could have been good. But then we got something that was so far from that. The haters gonna say it's fake part is definitely dating Justin Timberlake at what time period he's in. And then we do have the No This Ain't the Clean version. Yes, it is. There's no expletives in this whole song. Furthermore, like I said, those synth tones are way too overmixed, mixing his voice way into the back. That really just can become really grating on the ears. And I don't just say that in a, man, this is annoying. Like, it actually starts to give me headaches listening to this song because the synthesizer is just a really obnoxious tone. And honestly, that's it. That's all to be said about this song because it's so incredibly long, but nothing happens. And it's just insulting. It's a smack in the face because we get introduced with such a excellent opener. And then we get this. That incredibly annoying section of the song. If only the whole song had been like the first 25 seconds where it's like that stadium arena rock song, then it would have been so much better. We all know what number one's going to be. It's in everyone's top 5. I couldn't find a single critic that would not put this in a top 5. It was a hit, so it's very popular. Everyone knows about it. Don't even feel like I need to talk about it, but of course I will. It's Sad by XXXTentacion.
Someone that's afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Yeah, suicide if you ever try to let go.
Again, another terrible person that did die this year, and I'm not insensitive to that, but that does not excuse the things that are said in this song. The clear and blatant use of suicide to manipulate someone to stay in a relationship. That is beyond disgusting to me. Suicide is a very serious matter, and for anyone that is truly suffering with those sort of thoughts, please reach out. I'm going to include the suicide hotline number in my description just because it is something I'm bringing up, and I do feel it's very important. So please, if that's something that you are suffering with, please reach out and get help. But in this song, XXX uses that to manipulate someone. Someone who clearly they're not in a happy relationship and they want to leave X. And he says that he'll kill himself if she ever tried that. And that's just absolutely disgusting to me. It's something that I don't care who X is or was. I don't have to talk about anything that he did in his life to say that that is a truly disgusting sentiment. The whole song itself isn't a good song. It's still bad, but if we were excluding those lines where he does threaten that action, I don't feel like this song would make the list. But that line is absolutely deserving because that is a true problem. It's an unhealthy relationship, and it shows blatant abuse, and yet it became a hit. And that just breaks my heart because those kinds of sentiments should not be echoed by anyone. And yet XXX has tons of fans who probably defend this song. It breaks my heart, and I don't want to talk about this song anymore. Everyone knows why it's on here. It's on everyone's list. I don't need to spend more time on it. It's just a truly terrible song with a disgusting message. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It really does mean a lot to me. We do have 3 more videos coming out. We have the worst albums, the best albums, and the best songs. It can only go up from here. Well, I take that back. Obviously, we still have the worst list. But those will be coming soon, so look forward to that. You already know one of the albums, so you got 9 more to figure out. Besides that, thank you guys for watching this video. It really does mean a lot to me. and I'll see you guys later.